to come first. So I'm just putting on some CeraVe moisturizer. Also, I'm so sorry for a jump scare. As you can see, we've got the rollers in at the moment. I haven't actually rolled the top one like this before, so I want to see how it falls out. I got this for Christmas and I really want to see if it's good. Maybe once it dries it'll make more of a difference, but I don't really know. I better get a skedaddle on, so I don't want to be late. I'm always late. Okay, the way I'm running late, so we're doing this quickly, but oh my gosh, the moment of truth. Oh my god, it's kind of dead though. Oh, it's not too bad actually. Alright, here's like the main contender. I actually don't think this will turn out good. So oh no, it definitely does give it in the right way. Okay, let me hairspray this and leave. Photo of it before I came here.
Tea? Oh, I know. It's gone now.
Okay, so after doing a little bit of editing, I am going to start on my uni assignments now. At the moment, I'm just writing a, I think, 800 to 1,200 essay. It's pretty much in regards to like Disney princesses and body image, which has been covered a lot, but I'm trying to come at it from a different angle. So once I define that a little more in maybe one sentence and not three, I'll talk to you more about that. But basically a lockdown for how long, I'm figuring out. Until 1 p.m. So it's lockdown until 1, and then we're all sorted. And then we've got our animation lecture and another animation lecture. But I've got to catch up on some readings from yesterday anyway, so let's buckle down and get this done. Super random, but I had genuinely not tried fresh fruit and salad before that day, and it was so good. It was shockingly good. I kind of put my nose up to it initially because I thought, oh, this isn't going to be good, but I might as well try something different. And you know what? So good. Scrumptious. 100% recommend. Like, you have to try it. See, nothing left in the bowl. At this point in the day, uni was going pretty slow. I was slowly getting through my essays. I have a few of them at the moment. I have the animation one on Disney that I mentioned earlier, and then I also do these 200-word submissions every week for another class. So just getting all my thoughts down on paper really helps me organize these little bits and bobs I do when writing for uni in the good old communications degree. So just to be clear, I study digital communications with a second major in animation. I just finished my first lecture and now I'm going to my second. I haven't really filmed much of what I have studied, but I promise there's been waves made. One last matcha to get me through the day. Well, the only matcha actually. Very happy about this, honestly. I do not regret the $8 I just spent. This is great. I really need it for like this last lecture. likes to focus and get through it. So I tend to lose focus so easily. We have gotten home after a long productive day. I rose at literally 5 a.m. drank my coffee, you know, we did our skincare and we went off for coffee. Like, of course these things aren't strenuous, but I think university to an extent is just like mentally draining when you're there for such large periods of time. And you know, I have done a bunch of full-time work like in between uni, everything like that, so I don't want to come at it not understanding my privileges around going to uni and not having a whole lot with work on at the moment. But there's something about work that just, your brain has routine, your brain has goals, whereas uni you still do. You also have, I don't know how to say it, there's not as much pressure unless you put it on yourself. Which in my case, I find myself that I do, but I'm very much a person who pushes things to the side because I'm too scared of failing to actually try it. So I've been getting much more into the rhythm of just getting the worst, like the worst draft out you could draft out you can think of, and that's been really helpful. Another thing that I think about a lot is the fact that I want to do everything all at once. And something that I did today is kind of very thinking way too far into the future, but it has actually helped me stand back a little bit because I have passions for like journalism, like in journalism, more specifically presenting, music and fashion and animation. Like those are my 4 kind of fig tree where I want to go with life. So I kind of put them into a little structure of what I would ideally like at each point in my life, like almost 10-year increments. And obviously if I love something I'll stick it to longer, but also just saying, I don't want to do animation in my 20s, but when I'm older, let's say from like 40s through to 60s or onwards, that's something that I think I would truly enjoy. Whereas I think with the way the world is, you benefit more in journalism when you're younger and then growing with the industry, whereas coming into it when you're a bit older is more challenging because you're generally probably not going to get chosen for an internship at a news company, a big media agency at the age of 45 or older. You could, absolutely, and you would have a lot more networking and people potentially if you're in a similar industry, but I think your chances are better when you're younger. So I've decided journalism is going to be the first stop, and more specifically presenting. So that's where my brain was today. But because I obviously struggle just switching off and relaxing so I can get back to putting in more work into my essays, etc., I'm actually going to watch the Emma Chamberlain's Anything Goes podcast with Kendall Jenner. I'm usually not one to watch those kind of podcasts. I'm very like Grace Beverly, Be Productive, psychology ones, Formula One ones actually. But I started this one because it just came on in the car and I was like, oh, actually I'll hear the whole thing out. I'm not watching it to extract value. I'm watching it for entertainment, and I think that's like missing from my life in a lot of aspects, is I try to extract value from things all the time without actually enjoying it as thoroughly as I should be. But this has been a huge yap, so I'm gonna hit the brakes here. I'm so sorry. I was gonna tell you one funny story. I was going up to my lecturer for animation. I was asking her a question and she was like, are you for the next class? And I was like, no. And I just noticed that in my animation class, I stick out like a sore thumb. Maybe people don't think I'm approachable or vice versa. So, but I'm pretty good at making friends because I'm a pretty forward person. Like I'll be like, hey, how are you? Or like, hey, do you know how to do this? So I have made like connections with people in my animation classes, but yet to hit that level of friendship where I see them in a lecture room and I'm like, oh, I'll come sit next to you. It's more like, oh, hey, like in tutorials. So I think my goal is to like formulate some friendships so I don't feel so lonely in my animation classes.
Always fun.
Okay, see, you're putting a lot of pressure on me giving you like a wild answer.
I honestly think like weirdly like a Kraft mac and cheese is like more